Hi everyone, today I'm doing part 2 of the Q&A. This is all about non-book related stuff. It incorporates some questions about languages, gaming, writing and any other things really that weren't in part 1. Although similar to part 1, I do again have a lot of questions, so let's get going. Let's try and get through these in a suitable amount of time. Question 1 is, do you have a dream job or career that you'd like to pursue? I would love to do something with languages, whether it be teaching or translating or something like that. Teaching really does attract my attention because I love the idea of passing on such an important skill to someone else. I think that it's just so valuable to have a language, and it's getting more and more important in today's society to know languages. Question 2, do you have any pets? And the answer is yes, I have a dog called Dougie and he's a border terrier. I absolutely love him. Question 3, are you working on a particular book that you'd like to get published? No, at the moment I haven't really written anything for a long time and I'm just not in the mood for writing. I really struggled to come up with ideas that would last an entire book. I'm probably better with novellas or something because they're slightly shorter. The idea doesn't need to be as long lasting, because I normally start off okay if I'm writing a book or trying to write a book, and then it kind of just falls flat like halfway through because I don't actually know where I'm going with it. I just kind of start coming up with random stuff that doesn't hardly make sense. So really, writing is probably not one of my fortes. Do you have any hobbies or favourite things to do beside reading? Yes, I absolutely love languages, as I've already mentioned. They are so fun. I also really love the internet and going on YouTube, making book videos, everything like that. I also really love cooking as well. That's something I don't really talk about a lot, but I do like to cook and bake. I just think it's so fun. If you received a letter of acceptance to Hogwarts, what would your first reaction be? Well, I'd definitely be very excited and I'd be running around the place going crazy, because who wouldn't do that? I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't need to think about what would happen if it did, but I just think it'd be so cool. I'd be like really shocked. I don't think I'd know what to do almost. I think I'd be like so excited that my mind goes kind of crazy. What would you do if tea was made illegal in every country in the world? I don't honestly know what I'd do. I'd be very annoyed and very upset because I love tea. I am a tea addict and I drink tea a lot, and if there wasn't tea in any country in the world, what on earth would I do? I honestly don't know. I don't think there's a reason for that ever to happen, so let's hope that, fingers crossed, we won't have to worry about anything like that happening, because it would be disastrous. It would be absolutely awful, like torture. No thanks. What are your favourite movies or TV shows? I really love The Hunger Games, I love City of Bones, I love Hachiko Dog's Tale. They're my top 3 favourite movies. In terms of TV shows, I absolutely love watching competition shows. I love at the moment Great British Bake Off. It's just so fun. I don't know why. You know, a lot of people will be like, oh, baking doesn't sound very fun, how can that be such an exciting competition? But it actually really is. I find it quite inspirational really, because some of the stuff they make on there, I can sort of be inspired by that and, you know, create something like that myself. I just absolutely love it. Do you play video games? And the answer is sort of, but not very often. I absolutely love going on The Sims 3 on my laptop, and I can't wait for Sims 4. That's going to be so cool. Like, everything that they've shown so far, like the trailer for that and everything, it just looks so good. I didn't expect it to look any better than Sims 3. I didn't know how they could actually change it, but they have, and it looks so good. I can't wait. I just think it's a very addicting game. It's really good to pass time. I know a lot of people that don't play it think, you know, it looks a bit boring. I think if you're not playing yourself and you're watching someone, it might be a bit boring, but if you're actually playing, it's so fun. It's very addicting. What is another language that you'd like to learn? And the answer for this one is going to be Japanese. It sounds very complex and very complicated, but the kind of thing that I'd love. I really like a challenge, and I think the culture for Japan is so cool as well, very intriguing. I think if you're learning a language, it needs to be fun, you need to be interested in the culture, and you need to make sure that it's useful, something that you'd actually use in your life. I kind of think Japanese would just kind of be cool, and I don't think I'll try and learn it for a while, but it just kind of looks so fun. At what age did you start drinking tea? And I don't really know, to be honest. I've loved drinking tea for a long time. However, it was actually when I was quite young. I preferred having coffee, and then I went off that. I really don't like the taste of that anymore. I find it too bitter. And then I moved on to tea, and you know, I've never gone back, and I never will. Besides reading, languages and piano, what are your other passions? That one would be probably the internet, talking to you lot out there on YouTube. Booktubing is so fun. There are fantastic people out there. Definitely something that I love doing. I love filming and editing the videos and then uploading and seeing your amazing fantastic comments. I just love it. Who is your favourite non-booktuber YouTuber? This would go to Miss Haneke. She is a language vlogger and I absolutely love her videos. They're not as regular as other people's, but when they're uploaded they're so good, so inspirational. She speaks about 5 languages. I just think that's so cool. I love watching language videos. I don't watch a lot of them. Maybe I should start to get into them more. If you have any recommendations, if you're a language lover too, please let me know. Where do you see yourself in 10 years time? In 10 years time I would hope to have a job, because I'd be 26, and hopefully I'll be earning money, because, you know, I need money, I want to buy a house when I'm older, and I want to buy loads of cool stuff, so I definitely need the money. Would you rather be able to fly by yourself or have a hippogriff to fly on? I would like to fly by myself. I think that idea would be so cool and very convenient as well. I think you wouldn't have to have any restrictions because there'd be no one else to rely on, and you could literally go wherever you wanted for free. We could have booktubing meetups all the time. We could just fly to one another's countries and just meet everyone. That would be so cool. I think it'd be so good. You know, we need to kind of get a new generation. We need to have a new theory of evolution where people can gain wings. And with the booktubers to do that so we can fly around everywhere. That would be great fun. Do you hope to go to university, and if so, what do you want to study? Yes, I would love to go to university. As I've said before, languages are my passion and I would love to do languages, probably Spanish and French. Do you have a second channel for your tea obsession? And the answer is no. I would love the idea. I think it sounds so much fun. You know, how cool just to have a channel dedicated to tea. I think maybe that should happen. You know, should I just create tea videos and stuff and be all crazy about tea? Tell me what you think. I don't think I'd actually go ahead with doing it, but maybe just some random tea videos on this channel if people are interested. What made you decide to study both Spanish and French? So basically in year 7, which is the first year of high school in England, I had to do Spanish. It was compulsory and I always loved it. I was quite good at it as well. I got into set 1 and that meant that I could then actually choose French as well and go ahead doing that. I actually started to learn French a year after starting Spanish and I absolutely loved French as well. And then when I was taking my GCSE options, I was thinking, you know, should I take French or not? And in the end I did, and I'm so glad I did. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait for A-level as well. Do you have any siblings, and if so, do you get along with them? I have a sister called Emma, and I think most of the time, yes, I do get along with her. If you could visit any city in the world, where would it be and why? I actually don't really know, but I'm thinking probably somewhere in England. I haven't really travelled around England very much, which is kind of weird considering I live here. For some reason, we don't travel around England. I just go abroad and that's like it. Normally the furthest I travel in England is to the airport and back to go to another country instead, so I've never really been around England. It's kind of weird. How long have you been studying Spanish and French? I have been studying Spanish for 5 years and French for 4 years, although it was only 2 hours a week for lessons, so I suppose now I'm starting 6th form, we've got 5 hours a week. I'll definitely be improving a lot more. I'll definitely get a lot more out of the lessons. Do you like cats? The answer is kind of, but not loads. I much prefer dogs for some reason, and this is kind of weird because I love the Warriors series by Wherin, but for some reason I just prefer dogs. I think they're less independent, and I think if you're having them as a pet, that's a good thing. You know, cats run off and do their own thing, but dogs, you have to walk them, you have to really properly care for them a lot more, and I just love dogs. I just don't really like cats as much. What is your favourite classic? I don't really like classic books as much. I don't find them as interesting, but 2 classics that I really like. First one is The Phantom of the Opera, and the second one is Black Beauty. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? This is such a hard question. I absolutely have no idea. I eat such a variety of food that I can't actually decide one food that I would definitely pick. If I could pick a meal, it would be a roast dinner because there's so much to it, they're so complex, everything in them, you know, like a Christmas dinner or something is just like amazing, and I really would like to have that every single day of my life. But for one food individual, I honestly have no idea. Do you drink soft drinks? Yes, I do. I drink a lot of water actually. I just think for some reason, I know it sounds kind of weird, it's tasty. I love the taste of it. I know water's kind of plain, it doesn't actually technically really taste of much, but it's just so refreshing. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. The next question is, what's the best movie that you've watched? If it was a book to movie adaptation, that would be The Hunger Games. I think it's very accurate. And if it was a non-book to movie adaptation, it would be Hachiko: A Dog's Tale. I love the emotion in that. It's based around a real story. Oh my gosh, it broke my heart when I watched that because it was so good. Did you find your language GCSEs easier or harder than expected? I found them sort of easier than expected. Initially I was a bit unsure, you know, I was scared that I wouldn't really do well, but I did in the end, and I absolutely loved languages. I think if you have the passion just to really just practice the vocab, practice past papers, everything like that, you'll do absolutely fine. Language GCSEs are not too bad. A lot of people don't do well in them because they don't put the effort in. With languages, you have to be very consistent. You have to always keep practicing. It's not a subject where you can cram in stuff. You can't revise a week before the exam. You have to revise constantly throughout your learning. You need to be reviewing vocab literally every day, or just a few times a week, whatever you can do. But please, if you're going to do a language GCSE, make the most of it because they are very respected, and you should definitely just keep practicing throughout the year because it makes it so much easier when you get to the actual exams. For me, when I got to the actual exams, languages didn't require as much revision because I'd revised so much throughout the year. Finally, the last question for the Q&A is that if you were writing a book about your life, what would you title it and why? I'm guessing this is sort of like an autobiography or something. I see a lot of celebrities calling it like my story, my life, my time or whatever, and it's just so boring, you know. That is not a nice name for a book, to be honest. It's uncreative. I think it doesn't explain much about them. It definitely doesn't grab me in if a book's titled like that. I want something creative and different. I would call mine something like Unconfident to Confident, The Rise of an Avid Reader, because that just sounds kind of cool. I think it's more interesting than Reading with Jack, My Story. Because that doesn't sound very fun, does it? Anyway, everyone, that is it for the Q&A. I hope you've all survived. Hope the video isn't too long. Hopefully I've answered all of your questions. But until next time, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you all have an amazing day, read some fantastic books, and see you later.